The following is a presentation of the Women's Football Alliance.
Playoff season is here. Welcome to the road to Canton. Welcome to the playoffs on the road to Canton. I'm Brian Sweeney, the voice of the Women's Football Alliance Pro Division National Championship game. All the seedings are in place, but first, let's look back at the Week 8 highlights and scores. The Dallas Elite Mustangs finished the season with a win and an overall record of 2-4 when they beat the Austin Outlaws of Division II. Austin will travel to play the number 1 seed in Division II, the Mile High Blaze, but for Dallas, the 2023 season has already started. The Minnesota Vixen came back from Nebraska with a 49-6 win over the Valkyries and also home field advantage for the American Conference Pro Division. Nebraska also made the playoffs this season and will travel to play the Houston Energy in Division II. The St. Louis Slam finished the season on the road with a win over the Derby City Dynamite of Division II. St. Louis finished their season at 4-2, but in the tough Pro Division American Conference, that was not quite enough to make the playoffs. Derby City will be the home field favorite in Division II's National Conference. The Tampa Bay Inferno continued to dominate in the state of Florida with a 55-0 win over the Jacksonville Dixie Blues of Division II. Jacksonville at 2-4 overall will start planning for 2023. Tampa will host a first-round playoff game. And in the game of the week, the Pittsburgh Passion played host to the DC Divas. Both teams had already secured a playoff berth, but seeding was still on the line. In the end, it was the Passion that came out on top with a final score of 36-12. Alex Westhead breaks down the DC Divas Pittsburgh Passion game.
Our final game of the week in the regular season's road to Canton concluded in the Three Rivers area of the Allegheny Mountains as the Pittsburgh Passion hosts the DC Divas for their first matchup since the 2019 season. The question that I had going into the contest was, would DC be able to maintain and withstand the offensive onslaught from the Pittsburgh Passion? DC holds the WFA Pro Division's worst defense in terms of points per game. The answer to that question was no, as Pittsburgh Passion put 36 points past the DC Diva offense while only scoring 12 on their own right, and Pittsburgh was able to walk away with victory 36-12 in the regular season finale against DC. My question was also for Pittsburgh, would they be able to bounce back after a tough luck loss to the Detroit Venom in their last home game in Week 7? After losing 28-19 against the Detroit Venom in their Week 7 matchup, it was nice to see Pittsburgh respond in a bounce-back effort, winning 36-12. It also has significant playoff implications, as Pittsburgh was able to avoid a rematch with the Boston Renegades and instead will take on the Tampa Bay Inferno in the opening round. Meanwhile, the DC Divas dropped down out of that third spot in the National Conference and down to fourth, where now they will head up the road to the Boston Renegades for the opening round of the WFA Pro Division playoffs coming up this week.
You see them on the sidelines, or I should say, you hear them from the stands. Yeah, we're talking about the Mascots. Recently, I had an opportunity to sit down and talk with an original BA Vixen. BA, Cody, what should I call you?
You can call me BA Vixen or Blitz.
Blitz, there we go. So Blitz, I know you're a former player. What led you down the path to becoming an official team mascot?
Well, I always wanted to encourage the fans. Even when I was playing QB, I'd turn around and try to get the fans going. And the coach would slap me in the back of the helmet and tell me to pay attention. So when I got injured and I could no longer play, I found a place in the stands where I could still be part of the team.
Now, I understand you were a quarterback.
Yep.
So you're used to belting out signals. I'm assuming you were able to carry that over into the mascot role. Were you able to belt things out to the fans?
Yes, that is definitely one of my shticks, is I could yell. I've been told you can hear my voice outside of the stands, outside of the stadium, in the neighborhoods surrounding the stadium. So that's what I like to keep going.
Now, I've been told that as well, but I have the luxury of a microphone and a couple 1,000-watt PA system, so that impresses me that you're able to do that. What kind of joy do you get, interacting with the fans? I know there's got to be some excitement involved in that. I mean, what are some of your favorite moments over the years?
I just love that. I love the kids. Don't get me wrong. I love the kids, but the energy that the parents talk to me, they love to hear about their players. So, the kids, they like to talk to me about my mom's out there, my grandmom's out there, my kid is out there, and my granddaughter's playing all levels. And I just love to hear about that. I think that's what really gets me.
That's awesome. So now I understand this is your farewell season.
Yeah.
And you're looking for replacements.
I am scouring the dens across Minnesota looking for new Fox kids. Yep.
So if somebody wants to become a mascot, not necessarily for the Minnesota Vixen, but any of the teams across the WFA, what advice can you give them?
Wow. Mainly, you don't have to have any cheerleading experience. You don't have to have any type of tumbling experience. You just have to want to bring energy and have confidence in yourself to just to bring your own noise and try to bring that noise out of other people. And you got to definitely have spirit for women's football. And for wanting to encourage people to come to this level of football, because the other teams, the other leagues, they have their own followers. We need it at this level.
Sure, that's a great way to put it. You have to have a love for the game, a love for the league, and a love for the athletes out on the field.
Absolutely. And bring your own spirit and bring your own personality to it.
Blitz, I appreciate you spending some time with me today. I hope you have the ultimate success in this, your farewell season, and I wish you nothing but the best. Will fans be able to see you in Canton, Ohio?
More than likely, I will be there. Vixen are going to be there. I want to be there.
Great. Thank you again.
You betcha.
The Women's Football Alliance wants to thank their sponsors, KT Tape, Coors Light, Wilson, Aid Nation, Zenith, Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment Company, Secret, and the NFL Alumni Academy. Thank you for your support of the Women's Football Alliance.
Hey football fans, Brian Sweeney here, the voice of the Women's Football Alliance Pro Division National Championship game. The only thing better than catching the game live on ESPN2 is attending in person. Tickets are available now at hofvillage.com. We'll see you in Canton, Ohio on July 9th and 10th.
A Hall of Fame type game as Cahill keeps the ball herself. Eludes a couple tackles. She's on her way to the end zone. Nobody else there. Ball is handed off to Cooper. Cooper gets enough for the first down. Cooper finding her way. She's down to the 10, the 5, and she's in. Gets a hole. Finds enough for the first down. Breaks a couple tackles. She's only got one person to beat. She's going to be in for a Minnesota Vixen touchdown.
Welcome back. With 24 teams playing across 3 divisions for national championships, the playoff brackets are all set. Let's start with a look at the Division III bracket. In the National Conference, the 5-1 Virginia Lady Firehawks are the number 1 seed and will host the 4-2 Capital City Savages. And the 5-1 Music City Misfits will travel to play the 4-1 Carolina Phoenix. This will be the 3rd meeting this year for Music City and Carolina, with both teams winning when they were on the road. In the D3 American Conference, the 5-1 Arizona Outcasts are the top seed, and will welcome the 6-0 Capital Pioneers, and the 3-3 Iowa Phoenix will travel to play the 6-0 OKC Lady Force. In the Division II bracket, the American Conference is led by the 4-1 Mile High Blaze. They will welcome the 3-3 Austin Outlaws, and in their inaugural season, the 3-3 Nebraska Valkyries will travel to play the 4-2 Houston Energy. In the National Conference, things were not made clear until after the brackets were released, as the New York Wolves were removed from the postseason as a penalty for a rules infraction. As a result, the 1-5 Tri-State Warriors will travel to play the 2-4 Derby City Dynamite, and the 1-5 Columbus Chaos will travel to play the 2-4 Baltimore Nighthawks. And in the WFA Pro Division playoffs, for the second season straight, the 4-2 Minnesota Vixen are the American Conference leaders and will have home field advantage. Their first round matchup will be with the 4-2 Nevada Storm. The Vixen are looking to correct the mistakes that led to a fourth quarter comeback from behind victory when these two teams met back in April. For Nevada, they are looking to get one step closer to making history by winning a national championship 3 straight seasons as they ascended from Division III to Division II to WFA Pro. The 5-1 Cali War will make their second trip to Texas in 4 weeks to again take on the 5-1 Arlington Impact. With all 4 American Conference teams spending time in the top spot this season, it's anyone's conference to take. The National Conference holds once again the number 1 overall seeded 6-0 Boston Renegades, who are looking to make it 4 in a row when they host the 2-4 DC Divas. These teams have already met twice this season, with Boston coming out on top each matchup. And in the final WFA Pro Division matchup, the 4-2 Pittsburgh Passion travel to play the 5-1 Tampa Bay Inferno. Alex Wested is back to break down the Pittsburgh-Tampa Bay game.
With the road to Canton's regular season path now concluded, the path begins to narrow, as only 2 teams out of the WFA Pro Division will be allowed to say that they have made it to Canton, Ohio, to the national championship game coming up in early July. Our featured matchup for this week in the WFA Pro Division takes a look at a team we've seen a little bit of and a team that we'll be seeing for the first time, as the Pittsburgh Passion will travel down towards the Sunshine State of Florida to take on the Tampa Bay Inferno. Keep in mind, this is the first all-time matchup between the 2 teams, between Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay. As members of WFA's Division II, regional rivalries don't necessarily develop because teams play teams that are closer to them. However, the WFA Pro level, a little bit more travel is required. As a result, I expect to see Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay starting to play each other a lot more frequently. When we take a look at the playoff histories between these 2 teams, the Pittsburgh Passion are looking for their first playoff win since 2017 against Atlanta, a team which no longer is in operation. A season ago in 2021, Tampa Bay went 1-1 in the playoffs, winning at DC, but losing to the eventual WFA Pro Division champion Boston Renegades. The Inferno are also looking for their first home playoff win since the 2018 season. A lot of interesting storylines abound in the playoff history of these 2 teams. Tampa Bay has 1 playoff championship appearance in the Division II final in 2017 against the St. Louis Slam, losing, however, to that St. Louis Slam team. The Pittsburgh Passion also hold a number of accolades. They are the first franchise to be featured in Sports Illustrated magazine and the first women's professional football team to appear on ESPN. The Passion entered this week contest after a 36-12 win over the DC Divas, which we briefly talked about earlier in this program. When we take a look at how Pittsburgh has fared in the WFA Pro Division this season, they've gone 2-2, and they held the prohibitive division favorite Boston Renegades to the fewest points in which Boston has scored all season. Pittsburgh thrives defensively, with their 4th-ranked defense giving up 16.7 points per game, while their offense needs some work. Their points per game on offense is 9th in the WFA Pro Division, offensive yards per game is 10th, rushing is 9th, passing is 6th. However, between Alyssa George and, of course, the fantastic running back Marcelina Chavez, who, interestingly enough, played for the Tampa Bay Inferno, their offense should be on a roll enough to be able to keep them at bay with the Tampa Bay Inferno. This is our first look at the Tampa Bay Inferno in their regular season. My key in our season opening show was that Tampa Bay had to take advantage of their prohibitively weak schedule, all things considered. Tampa Bay statistically is first in the WFA's Pro Division at defense, with 11.2 points per game allowed. They have not allowed a point since April the 30th against the Orlando Anarchy. They are second in offense, with 39 points per game. But take those stats light, as they played just 1 game against WFA Pro opposition, that coming in a home loss to the Boston Renegades. Statistically, While they exceed in points per game for and points per game against, the rest of the statistics sit a little bit more pedestrian. The Inferno sit in 8th in offensive yards per game. They sit in 5th in rushing yards, and they sit in 9th in passing yards. When we take a look at the players for the Tampa Bay Inferno, they're led by their quarterback, Kim Shaw, 32 for 67 this season. Shaw has 5 passing touchdowns this season, but combine that with 5 interceptions, 62.5 quarterback rating, rates her as one of the lower quarterbacks in the WFA Pro Division in terms of passer rating. Where Tampa Bay exceeds, however, when you look at individual statistics, number 24, Candy Thompson, 64 carries for 422 yards and an amazing 9 touchdowns. If Pittsburgh's able to shut down Candy Thompson, don't worry. Tynequa Roberts with 36 carries for 352 yards and 7 touchdowns. This is a team that's not going to beat you through the air. They will, however, have the opportunity to beat you on the ground. They will need, however, Tampa Bay excellence to be able to beat Pittsburgh even with home field advantage, simply due to that stout Pittsburgh defense. On the other side, when we take a look at Tampa Bay's defensive unit this season, Candy Thompson, who excels in the running game, also leads the team in combined tackles with 39.5, including 1 tackle for loss. When we look at sacks, it's an area where they're going to need to get to quarterback Alyssa George. Kristen Nicholson and Candy Thompson both with a sack. But when you look at the players for Tampa Bay, when they score points, they have 8 different players who have scored a touchdown this season, 6 of which have scored multiple touchdowns this season. My keys for this contest, the Tampa Bay Inferno are, of course, hot. They are winners of 4 in a row following a loss to the Boston Renegades, and as I mentioned earlier, they have not allowed a point since April the 30th against a very good team in Division III, the Orlando Anarchy. The problem is, they've only played 1 game against a WFA Pro opponent this season, that being, of course, the Boston Renegades. Will their offensive and defensive averages be able to stand up? If Tampa Bay is able to get their offense going against Pittsburgh, my question for the Passion is their offense going to be able to score enough points? We've seen Tampa Bay score points frequently this season. They haven't really been able to do it against a WFA Pro team. My question is, which one of those statistics will go first? Will it be the defense of the Pittsburgh Passion, or will the offense of the Tampa Bay Inferno ignite the Tampa Bay Inferno an opportunity to the conference semifinal? Brian?
Tickets are now on sale for the 2022 WFA Championship Weekend. Spend the weekend of July 9th and 10th in Canton, Ohio, and catch the Division III, II, and Pro National Championships, along with the WFA All-American Game. For ticket information, head to hofvillage.com. We'll be right back.
The Women's Football Alliance wants to thank their sponsors, KT Tape, Coors Light, Wilson, Aid Nation, Zenith, Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment Company, Secret, and the NFL Alumni Academy. Thank you for your support of the Women's Football Alliance.
Welcome back. This season, we've seen Lois go missing, play football with food, and even climb down the side of a building. Now her children seem to be going after my job. Here's more in her segment, Low on the Go.
What's up, buddy? What's up, everybody? It's officially playoff week. Today we're at Low on the Go, but I'm not low. Are you low? I'm not low. But what are your favorite placements? This week we're going to be looking at some highlights. Oh, epic highlights. Okay, you're right. Epic highlights. These highlights. Epic highlights. Right, you might do like epic highlights. Today the highlights are going to show you how bad the players wanted to get to Canton. Okay, they just laid the ball. She got fouled. Oh no! Somebody laid a smack down. We're having pancakes and syrup for breakfast. That was exactly cooked for Pittsburgh with the epic hit. Wait, Cook? Is she related to us? Is she related to us? Let's watch another highlight. score a touchdown definitely says that you want to get the kick. But what about sheltering prior to the intel? That's like a trust fall. Possible goes for a pass. She lets it go and not today. That's beast mode in action. Not today. Not today. That was 22 rounds out of the DCD ones. And they call him beast mode. And we see why. Okay, he's running the ball. Knuckle Wubble out there. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. What did you think about that? When I saw him, I was like this. They definitely want to get the kick. And a punt. Running punches, running it back. Rocking and weaving, rocking and weaving. Like a throw for Brandy. She wants to go to Canton. Yeah, she hit her with the ooh. Now, Brandy again. Open and sleep. You got to see how bad the players really want it. They are on the road to Canton. What was it again? I don't know. Did you really want it?
Yes.
Did you baby catch it? I said, you baby catch it?
We are now only a month away from the national championships in Canton, Ohio. It's time to start booking those hotel rooms, getting those flights planned, and getting game day ready. For Lois Cook, Alex Westhead, and Brandy J, I'm Brian Sweeney, and we'll see you on the road to Canton.
Thank you for watching the preceding presentation from the Women's Football Alliance.